Hey everyone, and welcome to the Zone of Tech. I'm Daniel, and this is the OnePlus One. So what the heck is this thing? Well, it's obviously a smartphone, but it's not just any smartphone. This is the most anticipated Android smartphone of 2014, and it's considered by the tech community to be the best Android phone ever made. So why is that? Well, let's have a look. Now, just to make this clear, the company is called OnePlus and the phone is called One. So the next phone might be called 2, and then we'll have OnePlus 2, which is 3. So the next one will be called 3. Genius! And OnePlus is calling this phone the flagship killer. Now this is because in terms of specs, the OnePlus One is rocking a 2.5 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 801 CPU, the Adreno 330 GPU, 3 GB of RAM, a massive 3100 mAh battery, and a 13 megapixel back-facing camera capable of recording in both 4K and 4K DCI, or true cinematic 4K. So far the specs are great, the specs are amazing, but let's take some other flagships and compare the specs of this with the specs of those. For example, the Galaxy S5. The Galaxy S5 is rocking the same Snapdragon 801 CPU, the same GPU, the Adreno 330. However, it only comes with 2 GB of RAM, but we get a higher resolution camera, 16 megapixel one. So as you can see, they both have really similar specs. If we take the LG G3, again, same specs. If we take, the HTC One M8, again, same specs. The Xperia Z2, once again, same specs. So as you can see, not only does the OnePlus One live up to its competitors, but it actually outperforms some of them, which is really impressive. But what's even more impressive about this phone, it's not the specs, it's actually the price. So let's take the same flagships once again. So as you can see, you can get the HTC One M8, the LG G3, the Xperia Z2, the iPhone 5s, and the Samsung Galaxy S5 for about the same price, $700 off contract. The OnePlus One, however, comes in two models. So we have a 16 GB model, which comes in white, and then we also have a 64 GB model, which comes in black. And the price is, watch this, 16 GB OnePlus One white costs only $300 or 230 pounds, whereas the 64 GB one costs 350 or 270 pounds, which is insane, which is absolutely insane. Which means that with the price of an iPhone 5s, a 16 GB iPhone 5s or HTC One M8 or LG G3 or Samsung Galaxy S5 and so on, you can get two 64 GB OnePlus Ones, or two 16 GB and then have, $100 to buy some decent headphones or whatever. So yeah, this is insane. Also, there's just a $50 difference in price between the 16 GB model and the 64 GB model. So getting the 64 GB is absolutely a no-brainer. Now, design-wise, the OnePlus One is rocking a 1080p 5.5 inches display, with a PPI of 401, which is pretty good. Now, what I actually like about this phone are the bezels. The bezels are really thin. They actually remind me of the LG G3. So as you can see, this is the OnePlus One, and this is my HTC One M8. So the HTC One M8 comes with a 5-inch display, whereas the OnePlus One comes with a 5.5-inch display. So as you can see, there's a huge difference in the display size, but not so much difference in the size of the device. Now, yes, I know the HTC One does have those boom sound speakers, but still the bezels of the OnePlus One are really thin. It actually feels as if you were holding a 5-inch device and a 5.5 inches one. Once again, it feels a lot like the LG G3. And now if we take the Samsung Galaxy S4 for example, which comes with a 5-inch display, and the iPhone 4S, which only comes with a 3.5-inch display, you can definitely see how huge the OnePlus One really is when compared to those phones. It's more of like a phablet. But then again, if we take the HTC One M8, you can see that they pretty much have the exact same size. Now, it is also a really thin phone, although it tapers along the back. And speaking about the back, the texture on the back is absolutely, it's really interesting. It's by far the best texture I have ever seen on a phone. I cannot actually describe how it feels, but I think the best comparison would be sandpaper. Yes, it does feel a bit like sandpaper, and the good thing about this material is that you won't see any fingerprints on this. So yeah, it is all better than glass or plastic. It's really nice to the touch and feels awesome. You actually have to feel this in person to realize how good it feels in the hand. And no, it's not slippery. It's not. Now, another interesting fact about the design is that we get this metal frame. this metal rim, which makes the phone feel really, really high quality. Because no matter how you hold it, you will always be touching the metal rim. So yeah, it feels as if you were touching a metal phone, which is really cool. So although it's a large 5.5 inches device, the power button is really easy to get to, unlike the HTC One M8, for example, which has it on the top. On the bottom, we also get a pair of stereo speakers, which are obviously not as good as the HTC One M8, the king of the speakers, but they're still pretty good. So, enjoy some epic music.
One day I'll remember. Remember everything that happened. The good, the bad.
The world ahead. The world ahead. And there are many paths to tread. Through shadow to the edge of night. Until the stars are all alight. Mist and shadow, cloud and shade.
Will you have peace or war? Will you have peace or war?
All shall fade.
I will have war.
All shall fade.
I will have war.
Still, they're pretty good. The OnePlus One also comes with not one, not two, but three actual microphones. So you get one on the bottom, one on the back, and one on the top. So yeah, the call quality on this phone is pretty good. And speaking of the design, it's not just the design of the phone that's remarkable, it's also the design and the build quality of the box. Yeah, the box. So the OnePlus One comes with this really nice red and white box. And to be honest, the only box which can be compared to this one in terms of design and build quality is, well, is the iPhone box. And besides the box, even the accessories have been extremely well designed. From this extremely sexy micro USB to USB cable to the SIM eject tool that you can attach to your keyring, you can definitely see how much time and effort OnePlus One has put into the look and feel of this phone. Now also on the back we have something pretty interesting. We have this Cyanogen branding. Why do we have that? What's CyanogenMod? Well, this is a CyanogenMod phone. Wait, what? Wasn't this stock? Yes. And no. So CyanogenMod is not stock Android. It is basically a modified version of stock Android. However, it is not an overlay like TouchWiz or Sense. So the main difference between stock Android and CyanogenMod is the amount of customization you can put into your phone. And this phone is ridiculously customizable. You can change everything you want. You can change the scrolling effect, zoom in, zoom out, stack, cube in, cube out. You can completely change the theme. There's even a store for this with hundreds and hundreds of themes. Heck, you can even change the individual fonts, the icons, the battery indicator. Everything you can think of can be changed in this phone. Like, everything. So not only can you rearrange the on-screen buttons, because yes, you can do that, but there's also an option to turn on the hidden capacitive buttons. So this is really cool. This is the only phone in the world capable of doing this. So I'm actually impressed of how many things they managed to add in this really, really thin bezel. It's quite impressive. Good job, OnePlus. Good job. Now, Cyanogen also developed some specific apps for the One. The first one is called Screencast. And what it does is that it basically lets you record your screen as well as your audio, sort of like Fraps on a Windows machine. Now, the second app is called Audio Effects. And this is a pretty cool one. So Audio Effects lets you change the audio that comes out of your speakers or headphones. Now, what this means is that you can use it with any app out there, including Spotify, which lacks this feature, on Android at least. And finally, there's one more app designed specifically for the OnePlus One, and that is the camera app. So as I mentioned before, the OnePlus One comes with a 13 megapixel back-facing camera, and the sensor is actually the Sony Exmor IMX214, which at the moment is one of the best sensors for any smartphone camera out there. So it features an f2.0 aperture, and what's even more amazing is the fact that it comes with a 6-lens optical system. Basically the same as what you would get on the iPhone 5S, for example, which has an amazing camera. The iPhone 5S, fun fact, has the second best smartphone camera on the market right now. Well, probably not anymore. So because of this, the photos look great, like really great. The images are really sharp, and the contrast is also, well, it's perfect. None of my shots were over or underexposed. So the camera is one word: amazing. Now I'm going to show you some examples of how the camera on the OnePlus One performs when compared to the camera on the HTC One M8, for example, one of its closest competitors. So just from the start, you can see how the pictures taken with the One lack contrast and are kind of washed out. And I'm talking about the HTC One, not the other one. This is the OnePlus One and this is the HTC One. Both have the same name. Now you can also see how crisp the photos taken with the OnePlus One are when compared to the ones taken with the HTC One. Now that's because the photos taken with the OnePlus One have a resolution of 13 megapixels compared to the 4 megapixels that a One has. Now besides being simple and straightforward, the camera interface also gives you the ability to swipe between camera modes, which is really intuitive. The HDR mode is actually one of the best ones out there. Again, none of my shots were over or underexposed. There's a lot of detail in the shots, and again, the colors simply pop. Unlike the HDR mode you get with the HTC One M8, which is nothing more than a joke. But no, I'm not here to bash the HTC One. I'm simply here to say that the other one, the OnePlus One, has a way better camera, has an amazing camera. This is a truly impressive camera. And what's even more impressive about this camera is the fact that you can also record in 4K. And I'm not talking about UHD, because at the moment all phones which can record in 4K can only record in UHD actually, which is Ultra HD. 4K, this is the only phone in the world which can actually record in 4K. This one is called 4K DCI, or Cinematic 4K. So yeah, this is the world's first phone which can do that. So be sure to bump the resolution of this video up to 4K and enjoy some 4K samples, some 4K DCI video shots. I have to apologize for the lack of sun. This is the UK. We have no sun here. Sun is basically a myth in the UK. We have no sun. Actually, it doesn't even exist. Now, one thing I've noticed while recording in 4K was that a phone would overheat. And well, yes, this is completely normal, especially when recording in 4K DCI, because there's a lot of pressure being put onto the CPU. Besides the overheating, it would also drop frames. I'm not talking about just one frame, I'm talking about a lot of frames. So the usual frame rate is 24 FPS. Yeah, when it overheats it can go down to even 15, which is pretty bad. But hey, you don't have to record in 4K DCI all the time. I'm guessing most of you don't even have a 4K display. I sure don't. So let me know in the comment section down below, by the way, if any of you has a 4K display. Let me know in the comment section down below, because, you know, I'm curious to know. Now, another issue that I've noticed was that the macro mode doesn't always seem to work. while recording video. So for some reason the camera simply won't focus while up close. However, if I change it into photo mode, well, now there we go, now it focuses. The front-facing camera is also pretty good as well. It comes with a 5 megapixel 80-degree wide-angle lens capable of recording in up to 1080p. And you also get some pretty useful camera modes, such as time-lapse and also slow motion. So far, the camera has been amazing, so any downsides? Well, yes. First off, it doesn't have optical image stabilization, which means that in low light, the photos are not going to look that great. Unless you have a tripod, the pictures are going to look either blurry or grainy. This is because since there's no optical image stabilization, the camera automatically increases the shutter speed to compensate the shakiness and also increases the ISO, which makes the photos look a bit grainy. It does come with a dual flash, by the way, but no, this is not a True Tone flash like you get with the iPhone 5s or HTC One M8. You simply get 2 white LEDs and that's it. But don't get me wrong, they're pretty good. They're bright and the night shots look okay. Definitely not the best smartphone camera in low light, but overall this is one of the best smartphone cameras on the market right now. Period. Now, in terms of fluidity and performance, well, this phone is a beast, since you don't have any overlay running on top of the operating system, like you have on Samsung or Sony or other devices. It is buttery smooth. I haven't noticed any lag or any slowdowns whatsoever. Games run great thanks to the Adreno 330 GPU, which at the moment is the most powerful mobile GPU that you can get, with a Snapdragon CPU at least. And the funny thing is that with the Antutu benchmark at least, the OnePlus One outperforms all other Android smartphones on the market right now, despite having the exact same specs as the Galaxy S5, the LG G3, the HTC One M8 and so on. It still outperforms them, which is kind of weird, but in the end shows how much effort Cyanogen has put into this phone, optimizing it. Now, you would say that with such performance, the battery on this phone would be pretty crap. But no, it's not. I'm actually really impressed with the battery life on this thing. So just to give you an idea, I've been using this phone for the past few days intensively. That's playing 3D intensive games, watching videos, browsing the web, even recording 4K DCI videos. And the battery, well, it lasted me for more than 2 days. And no, it's still rocking, it's still going, it's not dead yet. This is ridiculous. This again shows how important a large battery is when combined to a really well optimized operating system. So yes, the battery is a large 3100 mAh battery, and no, it is not removable, but it doesn't even have to be, since it would last you for days, even without disabling Wi-Fi, 3G, GPS, and all of those features. You can, however, take the back cover off and replace it with some custom ones from OnePlus. But then again, the back already feels great. So in the end, what do I think about the OnePlus One? Is it a good phone? No, it's a great phone. Should you buy it? Definitely. The only problem is that at the moment, since OnePlus is a brand new company, they have some serious production issues. Therefore, it is almost impossible to get this phone. There's an invite system, but then again, the invites are also almost impossible to get. But the good news is that I have a couple of OnePlus One invites to give away to you guys. So simply subscribe to my channel Zone of Tech if you haven't already done so, and follow me on Twitter at Zone of Tech, because that's where I will be announcing the winners of this giveaway. Also, if you have enjoyed this video, simply hit that like button down there, as well as share this video with all of your tech friends. Keeps me happy and motivated. So there you go, this was my review of the OnePlus One. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about the OnePlus One, and also, have you even heard of the OnePlus One before seeing this video? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you in my next video, which will probably be an iFruit video, because we have a lot of iFruits coming in the next couple of days, so definitely stay tuned for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in that video. Zone of Tech, signing out. Cheers.